Well, howdy, hey everybody. Welcome to episode 3 of Driverless Horses, the only podcast that Tom Wilson has a restraining order against. How are you, Adam?
I'm doing good. How are you, Frankie?
I'm okay. Frankie, she, they, and Adam...
He, him.
He, him. There we go. I'm doing terrific. We're doing amazing. Haven't done it in a while. It's 100 billion degrees. And everything is on fire, melting, and making Adam come. So we're going to get straight into it.
It's a good life.
Yeah. It sounds very dehydrating, though. Are you staying hydrated?
I bought a new water bottle from Asda, and
Filled it with cum.
It has, it has, you know those measurements on the side where it's like, oh, keep going, you can do it. And I don't read them. I just drink like 3 of them. I'm supposed to drink 2 of them a day, but I'm an overachiever, so I drink 3.
Well, I mean, of water?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I was hoping it was something a bit sexier, but that's fine. I'm in a sexy mood. I'm in my sexy water drinking era.
I'm in.
One could say I'm thirsty. El agua, or is it la agua? I don't know. I don't remember.
I can't remember what
it's
the
fine.
sentence is, but one of my mates, Jay, he taught me how to say, "Can I have a glass of water, please?" in Italian, and I just remember it ends with "di agua."
The agua. Well, agua is like in Spanish as well, so that would be, I would be ruder and say, quiero un, what is it? It's not taza, because that's cup. You know what? I want a mug of water. Quiero, taza de agua, por favor. That's probably really
you said
wrong.
Please, though. Is that please and thank you, or is it just please?
Yeah, por favor is please, or porfa. Or please, but that's not Spanish. That's uwu, which is a different language that I speak fluently. Adam, what's the news? My dues.
This news is an interesting one. It's less local, weird, interesting, funny stories, and it's more a big thing. It's on the Stop Killing Games movement.
Yes.
I don't know if you've heard of it.
I've heard of it. I've signed the petition. Obviously, we're going to explain for you, beautiful listeners at home. Mm-hmm. But I think it's a very important conversation to be had, and it's an important thing that we should do.
Yeah. So it basically is a guy called I can't remember his name.
Ross Scott.
Yep. It's basically a guy called Ross Scott. Who got tired of the consumer rights for games being a little lackluster at best. I guess the best example is games like live service games like Destiny, World of Warcraft, sort of things like that. When they die, air quotes, it goes to a point where you can't play them anymore. And if you've purchased that game and you've put some money into it and then you lose access, you're technically losing the purchase that you've made, which does not feel fair, does not feel right, does not feel in line with what consumer rights are for a lot of other things. So this guy decided to hunt for vengeance against the government, as we all should. And
non-actionable.
Yeah. And he's essentially made this petition for people to sign to change the consumer rights around games. And he wants basically games companies to think about an end-of-life plan for the games when they're developing it. This wouldn't take much in a lot of cases, and some cases, it might not be entirely possible, but it shouldn't be as a big a thing as a lot of people make it out to be. But it's heavily supported. I think the petition's already at like 1.8 million people, which is huge for something like this. The big thing that we have is that this will be for Europe. And eventually that will spread. Hopefully, game companies will start having to do it for Europe, so they'll just make it their policy in other countries. So America has had a lot of people signing it, even though they don't gain benefit from it. They've still signed the petition because there's a chance that they will enact change in their countries as well. But it's just a hugely important thing that I think needs to be discussed.
Yeah, no, I think there's, especially because so many things going digital nowadays, it's so I've heard people joke about we are the generation that doesn't own anything. Like, we are the generation of subscription services, and we don't own anything, and we can't afford a house to put anything in it if we even did own it, and all that kind of stuff. And it's very kind of like, it's bitterly miserable not being able to play a game you want to anymore, but also it's like, that is art disappearing, and that's a big fucking problem. That's a big crime, honestly. As an artist, it might sound like I'm being a bit, like, snooty about it, but it's like, no, video games are art. I'm being controversial yet brave, but I'm going to say it. Yeah. And it's so much, and, like, especially, I've played a lot of Destiny, and, you know, Nathan Fillion's in that, so I'm on bound to die for it, because I love him.
Hell yeah.
New Superman movie's really good as well. Saw that. It's really good. How is he still so beautiful?
Do you know about...
Oh, Captain, my Captain.
Do you know about Nathan Fillion's Civilian Pavilion?
No, but I want to.
So there is a place, I think it's in California, where they made a pavilion for Nathan Fillion, and they called it the Nathan Fillion Pavilion Goddamn. Nathan Fillion Civilian Pavilion.
Pavilion, there we go.
And I believe he's gone to, like, cut the red tape and open it as well. Huge deal.
Oh, he could do that for me. Jesus Christ. I am starting early today.
Make an official opening for you.
Yeah, I'll tie a ribbon around my ankles. Respectfully, Mr. Fillion. Okay, like, I'm a nerd who likes men, who finds men attractive. He was in Firefly. You do the maths, okay?
I also love him in Brooklyn Nine-Nine. His character is hilarious.
See, I don't wear gloves, so people like to see my hands. Because Nathan Fillion is a chaos demon complimentary, so I genuinely believe half of the weird shit he says is just ad-libbing.
Yeah. It's just
because he is just a weirdo and I love him. Also, like, I have never been more afraid of a Buffy villain than when he played that weird preacher man, Caleb.
He was in Buffy?
He was in Buffy, dude. And he was doing the whole kind of, like, slightly smiley kind of like, oh, well, you see, you know. And, like, there's one scene where he, like, I can't remember, he corners, like, Buffy or someone else. And I think he kills her, so it's probably not Buffy. But he's like, don't worry, sweetheart. And he quotes the Bible and he goes, but, you know, unlike a little whore like you who I'm going to crush the skull of. And it's like, the way he says it is bone-chilling. And I'm like, why am I feeling complicated about this? It's because it's Nathan Fillion.
Do you know what? You're making me want to watch Buffy again, because I feel like I remember him in it, but I don't. And it's been a little bit of time. It's been like a couple of years since I watched Buffy, so I'm going to watch it again.
I don't think he doesn't really play creepy villains. I think he's just too charming and gorgeous.
He does play dumb villains.
Yeah, but that's okay, because he's got them comedy chops, so he can do that.
Yeah. He seems like a really nice guy, though.
Yeah, he does seem cool. If he sucks, it will break my heart, but I'd rather find out about it than, you know, stop, like, emailing him, like, every day at 12 p.m. going, hey, my ankle ribbons, bruh.
I'll see if I can organise him as a guest on the podcast.
Honestly, we're having to turn, like, people away. Nicolas Cage, celebrated Chilean-American actor Jose Pedro Ramosita Pascal, has emailed in saying, don't fucking talk to me no more, you weirdo.
Nick Cage has been actually a bit too feisty for us. I think he wants
honestly,
it too
and, like,
much.
the amount... We need to close the P.O. box because I don't know what I'm going to do with all that underwear.
What about the second P.O. box?
The second P.O. box purely for underwear? Yeah, everyone's sending it to the main one that isn't for underwear as well, because the first one is full of underwear, and I'm quite... The mail service has hired a deep web hitman to kill me about it. So if we could just ease off that, please, listeners.
Please,
like, we love your enthusiasm, but, you know, just ease off it a little bit.
How about one pair per person?
Okay, one pair per person per year, because I know people will get mad. So, you know, this time it's more quality over quantity. You know, that's what Stalin said. No, quantity has a quality all of its own. He was referring to being sent underwear in the mail. Everyone knows this. Read some leftist theory.
It was in Trotsky's book. Like he.
Yeah. Or the Trotsman, as everyone called him.
Old Trotter.
You know. Old Trotter, yeah. You can't tell you're from down south, can you? Old Trotter!
I was walking down the road near my house the other day, and so I'm one of those weird hypersocial people that just like chats to random people. And this neighbour, he has a massive pink plastic horse in his front garden, and I love it. Every time I'm drunk and I go home, I want to get on the horse. I'm just so excited about it.
Dude, that's Chappelle Rowan. Yeah. That's her house. You've misgendered her. You are talking to her about her horse.
Well, this is the thing, that their house also has a ridiculous amount of like random objects that they like kind of get and collect and like fix up and repair. So they've got like loads of bikes, barbecues, engines. So
they're like hoarders then.
Yeah, they are a little bit hoarder, but it does look
they're
organised.
They're weird.
Yeah,
okay.
And I was fixing up my niece's bike because I'm a hobbyist. I like doing mechanical things and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I was taking her bike apart, and the grips on the handlebars were really mouldy, and they desperately needed some new stuff. So I went to them on the way to the Tesco's to be like, oh, hey, you've got loads of bikes in your garden. Have you got any that look like these? And we had a little chat with the guy who was working on the car, and this guy was like sat in this like lounger drinking a beer in his front garden surrounded by all this stuff. And like he had a beer belly, looked like nice looking, he looked like a friendly guy, and he just went, "You're a mate?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he was like, "You're a Cockney geezer, aren't you?" And I was like, "What? Yes, I am from London." He was like, "I like the accent, mate, nice. You're a proper Cockney lad, aren't you?" I was like, I am the poshest compared to some of the Cockney people, but I do have a bit of London in me.
I mean, to be fair, your sister is like... I can't remember... Your sister, I'm going to dead name her, Charles Bronson. We love her. She is precious. I love her. She's had a wild life, but, you know, she's out there. She's living her best life, and we cherish her. Love you, Zoe.
Big time.
Can't believe she like just ran naked covered in Vaseline at those prison guards like 2 days ago. And they like, how does she keep getting into the prison? Yeah, she's like butter tobogganing. It's weird. Anyway, shall I roll the die for our first of our two topics, Adam?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay.
How many numbers are there again?
It's a D135.
Oh my goodness. 112.
Yeah. 112. No.
How close am I?
It's over 100.
126.
Dude, you fucking got it.
No way!
You literally got it. It's 126, and because my Google is a twat. It's sequels. That's the topic.
Sequels. Okay.
So,
me and your
for games, movies, anything.
Me and your husband were just discussing the Transformers films.
That's awful. Don't do that.
I'm one of those weirdos. I quite enjoyed the Transformer films. I enjoyed the first, the second, and controversially the third. We were discussing the logistics of the transforming and how Optimus Prime in the first one actually like they didn't do any what he called matter shifting, which I believe is where matter appears out of nowhere and changes.
For those of you who don't know, my husband is a gigantic nerd, and it's the hottest fucking thing ever. And he's really into Transformers. He is, yeah. And he's like, yeah, because like there's a bunch of what on Transformers it's referred to as kibble, which is just random kind of like details on the outside.
It's called kibble.
I like. It's called kibble, like the American word for like dry biscuits that you feed doggos. And
I'm gonna cry.
It's literally called kibble, and like like matter shifting. So it's basically like, you know, when Megatron in the cartoons like he's like one of the tallest Transformers in the evil Transformers group, and then he turns into a handgun that a small Transformer can use as a handgun. That's matter shifting. and it's silly. I mean, I prefer that than the Matter Baby. You know what I mean?
What's the matter, baby?
Nothing. What's the matter with you, darling?
I live for that. I'm so happy you've done that to me.
You are the only person in my life that when I get like that, you go, yeah, nice one. You don't go, I'm calling the fucking police.
No, I live for that. That was perfect.
Thank you.
At some point, you know the story of Pink Fluff.
No, we're not doing this.
At some point, upon a viewer request, if there's a comment left that requests Pink Fluff, I will post.
Don't.
Pink Fluff.
Don't. No.
So sequels. What sequels do you feel a great kinship to?
I love Terminator 2, and I think that's one of the best sequels of all fucking time.
Is that Liquid Man?
Yes. That's the T-1000. Advanced prototype and mimetic polyalloy. I love that movie so much.
Can I call him Liquid Man?
Call him the Cum Man.
Metal Dribble.
Oh, no. I
actually really like that film. Was that the film that started with the nuke?
Yes, and it's also, as far as I'm aware, I haven't checked recently, but up until like maybe a decade or two ago, it was considered the most realistic depiction of a nuclear explosion on screen. Yeah, really impressive.
I'm guessing Oppenheimer took that or something.
I don't think
like
so.
That.
Because Oppenheimer actually, from what I can tell, tried to humanize Oppenheimer, and Oppenheimer was just a big fucking dickhead.
Yeah.
That should have been hit with a hammer.
I see. I haven't watched it because there was the whole Barbenheimer thing, and I watched Barbie.
I'd rather watch Barbie than like, oh look, let's look at this guy. It's like, okay, I appreciate. I can't rag on the movie because I ain't seen it, and I don't really want to see it because again, Oppenheimer seemed to be like the whole him crying on camera and I am become death apparently. And again, take it with a pinch of salt and do your own research. Don't listen to a podcaster about this as a definitive like truth teller about this because I'm remembering. Apparently, he was like planning that, and he's like, yeah, and I'll cry at this point. I think I heard that on like Behind the Bastards or something, really good podcast. But yeah, I again, like, you know, and plus, like, I just don't trust any like well-off like white dude.
I was gonna say, well-off white dudes are dangerous.
Yeah. Just a little bit weird, but yeah. And I'd like to talk about how isn't it interesting how movies, as sequels come out, they get worse. Except for the miraculous thing like Terminator 2, which is incredible. Mm-hmm. But with video games, it tends to be the opposite. Like MGS3 is probably my favourite Metal Gear Solid game, and it's like the third one, and it's the third Metal Gear Solid game, not the Metal Gear franchise, and I think that's the best Metal Gear Solid game that there is, because it's just so good.
I had, my lecturer at uni, his name was Jin, really lovely guy, fantastic lecturer, very, 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 very good at his job. He absolutely loved Hideo Kojima and all of the media he produces. So he actually told us to go away and look at some of Metal Gear Solid, and for a bit of like research, I was like, "Oh, I'm going to actually watch through a playthrough of one of the Metal Gear Solid games." I think
Which one did you choose?
I think I was looking for it canonically. I looked at the one where it has. What's the guy who's the sniper? Where if you like change the date on the console, it like
that's MGS3. That's the end.
Yeah. That
and like little things like that. Thinking outside the box. I mean, I don't really like Kojima too much as a person, but as a creative, provided he has a rolled up newspaper to smack him every time he goes, and then the labia quivers when she fires her gun, he needs to be hit in the head when that happens.
Yeah.
But like, I mean, like MGS3 is incredible because it has like, there's the two main females, the two like main in-game women of like the three women that are in there, including paramedic, are such incredible, well-realized, strong female characters that if you put a gun to my head, I would not have guessed Kojima had created them.
Yeah.
That's how good they're. So good, it doesn't feel like he created them.
Yeah, I loved watching through the playthrough of it.
So good.
I think it's one of those games where now that I've seen a playthrough, it was years ago, so I think at the time I probably wouldn't have played it myself. But I think now, if I got access to play it, I probably would.
They've remade it, and it's coming out in like August.
Is it coming out on Steam?
It's
PC?
coming out on Steam. It's Metal Gear Solid like 3 Delta. It's like a weird like a triangle. And oh my god, because that game, that is such a huge, gigantic part of my childhood. Like Metal Gear Solid, I literally, this is really sad, but I think a lot of like ADHD people probably will relate, or just any neurodivergent people will probably relate, where I was bullied horribly at school because, I was undiagnosed ADHD and I had a very abusive home life, so I didn't socialize very well. So I'd come home and I'd sit down and I'd play Metal Gear Solid 1. Yeah. That was my soothing. That's how I would soothe. And then MGS3 came out, and MGS2 was fine, complicated, but whatever. MGS3, and that's what I was doing at college. Like every day I'd come home and I'd play a bit of MGS3, and I'd just keep going through and playing it over and over. That's what I do.
Those are the memories, like when you think back, you're just like, that's what got me into gaming. Like coming home and playing Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. Just absolutely smashing that out. Like that's
and just forgetting the day and just kind of relaxing and just becoming so hopelessly absorbed in that story. And so I'm really, really looking forward to that coming out.
Speaking of hopelessly absorbed, I want to talk about another sequel.
Sure.
This is not TV. This is not games. This is books.
Book.
So my
father, I cannot click the book.
I absolutely love a book series that's I don't know the full name, but I know it starts with the book Sabriel. I've reached the 4th book in the series, so it goes Sabriel, Lyriel, Aborson, and Golden Hand, and then there's Cleriel, which is another one.
Okay.
It is a book about necromancy, but there's good necromancers and there's bad necromancers. And it is just fantastic. The first book is incredible. Hands down, I think, probably the best one. But then as you go through, it builds this story, this universe, the sequels just get better and better, and it builds it and builds it and builds it. And it's one of those books where when you get to an action sequence or something's happening in the book where the character feels out of breath, I've noticed that I am reading so fast that I'm out of breath and I'm panicked just reading it, and I'm like, this has gripped me. My sister recommended me it, Zoe, and genuinely, if anyone's considering starting to read books or wants a new series, look for Sabriel, read that book.
How do you spell that, just so? S-A-B, is it sound how it's spelled? Is it spelled how it sounds? Fuck if I know.
Sabriel, Sabriel, by Garth Nix, and do you know what? Incredible author. There's a map at the beginning of the book so you can understand where things are, and like the map is really good. The map is like, I've spent ages reading parts of the book and then turning back to the map and looking at the map and being like, oh, they're there. Oh, that works.
That's cool.
And it matches what you're thinking of the world looks like. You actually, it's really well written.
That is really cool.
Very good sequels.
Yeah, I typically I don't like a lot of modern sequels that they're doing now, where it's like it's obviously just they're trying to refresh the copyright so they can have it for another 50 years and it's going to make money anyway. It's like it was years and years ago now, but they remade Slash. Like it was supposed to be like a Thing movie, and it was originally supposed to be a remake, but then it had like the original movie did happen, and it was like just another base like that was behind the other base, and you didn't see it, and everyone had modern haircuts, and it was written worse, and all that kind of stuff. And I did not like it because it just tried to turn the Thing into a slasher movie, which you could argue it's kind of a bit of a slasher movie. I would argue it is straight up just a body horror movie of just, creeping doom. Instead of a slasher, because slasher tends to be like, I tend to count slashers as like the Nightmare on Elm Street movies, like, because, you talk about how gory and crazy the kills are and how silly they get. I wouldn't classify The Thing as that. That's a very creepy cosmic horror. It's isolation. It's terrifying. And the practical effects still look really good, apart from like a couple of bits. But like, then they remade it and they kind of didn't really understand how to make, which was quite sad, especially because they made The Thing monster like CGI, but that was after that they'd made a bunch of like actual practical effects, like monster effects. And I'm like, no, the practical effects look so much better. The
practical effects are
please.
The part.
I know. That looks
what has
so
happened
good.
to CGI? I think the CGI has gotten a little worse in some ways. Like there was a point where we were in between practical effects and CGI, where there was a mix of practical and there was some CGI, and things look so realistic.
Jurassic Park still looks really good, and that was because that was originally going to be stop motioned, and then they just mixed the stop, like the guy who did, I think he do Jason and the Argonauts? He was a big stop motion dude. I can't remember exactly, and he was doing that, and then like halfway through they went, oh, we're going to CGI stuff, and you know that saying like what Dr. Malcolm turns around. And said, like, to Grant, I think one of the other characters is like, oh god, you know, you're bringing back dinosaurs back to life, and we're going to be out of a job. And he goes, don't you mean extinct? Which is a thing that the stop motion guy literally said.
Yeah.
He was like, oh, you know, and I'm like, okay. But the thing is, like, he basically stop motioned the movements, and then that was what the animations were like onion skinned from, which is why it looks so real and they move so convincingly. And
that's
like
wicked.
I love practical effects so much. And yeah, I do think that all practical effects or all CGI, I think that they work very well together.
Yeah.
There's because like what CGI lacks is the weight and the light and a lot of the realistic kind of look of that kind of thing,
and
of it being physically there, and the movement, because you know it has mass, but like, you know, stop motion is obviously, and like that, the more kind of practical effects are obviously not as fluid, and they can't do anywhere near as much. So I think mixing them is perfect. It's absolutely spot on what you need. So like, I love Jurassic Park so much. Not so much the sequels, but
have you seen they're doing a stop motion Pokemon movie with like clay models, and it's Aardman that's doing it, the people that made Wallace and Gromit, and they've done a little spoiler clip of Wooloo made out of clay on like a little field. It is adorable. I'm gonna go and see that, hands down. That
sounds good. Well, they're making what was it? They made Aardman did a little Star Wars like short. And I remember seeing that and going, that is adorable. I need to see it properly. But yeah, I think there's also a Batman, like a Batman kind of franchise thing coming out, which because as a Red Hood fan, yeah, I know, I love to suffer. It's Red Hood, Jason Todd and Dick Grayson in an adventure together. Oh. And it's going to be like puppets. And I'm like, oh yes, that sounds. I'm into that. Let's have a look at that.
I'm curious.
Yeah, me too. I can't remember what it's called, but now I'm interested in that. So, but yeah, sequels. Yeah, sequels. I'm not against them, but I do wish that not everything had sequel bait. To a lot of movies it tends to be a bit detrimental to them. Mm-hmm. It's like, oh no, we can't have a satisfying wrap-up because we might want to turn this into a big franchise because we do love money and hate art, but we love that art can make us money, and let's just milk it dry. It's like... And I don't like that.
Yeah, it's like The Good Place, the Netflix TV series.
I have not finished that.
So the ending to it is an ending where you are devastated that it's finishing and that it's going to be over, but you're also happy that it ended then and in such a perfect way. And you're like, no, please don't stop. It's like how we've talked about Brooklyn Nine-Nine before, the ending to that program. It happened at the perfect time. They did it in a really, really good and thoughtful way. That's better than a sequel in my eyes.
Yeah, a satisfying ending is like... Yeah, and I know, like, Lizard Brain goes, but I want more. It's like, yeah, I get that. But at the same time, sometimes it shouldn't have. It's like, I won't read the Firefly comics because, well, I mean, I have a complicated feeling about Joss Whedon. that aren't that complicated, really. But, like, I'm sitting there going, yeah, season 1 finished, and then it was cancelled of Firefly, and I'm like, okay, I'm happy with that.
Yeah.
I don't like things having to be explained a lot. I like there to be gaps.
Yeah.
Because then I can think, like, oh, what could have happened there? And that's just a fun little thought experiment. It makes me think about it in an interesting kind of manner. I like seeing what other people think might have happened. That's why I'm like, only Terminator 1 and 2 exist. Nothing else exists at all.
Yeah.
That's it. Just Terminator 1 and 2. Because I'm sick of, like, but what about the man in the corridor who was drinking the Pepsi? And it's like, if it was Star Wars, that man would have his own fucking, like, book series.
Yes.
And I hate that. I love Star Wars, but I hate that. It's like, look, we don't need like, oh, well, the guy in the background who was just like, you know, scratching his balls in this scene was actually like a big, scary, like, spy for the Empire.
So sometimes I feel like you do need a little bit of that, like in the series, like, oh, you remember that guy that you didn't really see in the background who was actually listening, and like he has an important plot point because he actually informed this person. Sometimes a little bit of that is really nice, but when you do like, oh, that guy who nobody noticed and it wasn't really real and wasn't really there. Like, okay, the perfect way it's been done, we talked about Buffy earlier, but Buffy's sister. No spoilers.
I hated her.
I did as well, but the no spoils here. It is an old TV program, but I don't want to spoil
They're remaking
situation. I genuinely was so like dumbfounded when they did the reveal. I was like, wait, I thought that was odd, but they played it off as so normal. What?
Yeah, fantastic. It is funny when a piece of media gaslights you
successfully.
Yeah, it's freaking weird, but yeah. No,
my mum's really good at spotting stuff like that. I think I've spoken about her.
You were saying, how she's like she'll just lean over and go, the twist is this, and you'll be like, for fuck's sake, man.
And it always is. Every time she gets so... she just clocks onto films. I actually think she would be a really good writer because she would write things that she'd
circumvent the tropes.
Yeah, she would, but I think you could also say write the most boring thing you could possibly write. And it still
absolutely.
Be complicated.
Bless you.
Thank you. I also think you were mentioning earlier about like sequels not going in and explaining a bunch of stuff, and it propped my memory of Dark Souls, and why I love Dark Souls so much is it's not a handhold game. It will just say, here's the world, go and explore it. Like, here's the controls. Good luck. Go and experience it.
Go get killed, idiot.
Yeah, and yeah, that's quite a frustrating like mindset, but what it allows you to do is explore and grow and find your own story throughout it. And there's little secrets that you might not find in your first playthrough, obviously, but you'll get an idea of the story and what's happening. And like, it's the no breadcrumbs, like a really good way of doing a sequel. Yeah.
No, I do like the whole kind of like, I do like piecing shit together. And I do like it where... I mean, like, a game I'm obsessed with right now is Blood West, and that's Dark Soulsian in the way that it has a very high level of entry, where it's very unforgiving, but it has rules that it adheres to very fucking strictly, and I really appreciate that. And yeah, the story is kind of like, it happens at you, but there's also a bunch of extra things. Like, one of my favorite things ever is environmental storytelling. So, like, you know, you'll go into a room and there's like a dead like human, because like, it's basically like, You're an undead gunslinger and all the undead have risen, and you don't really encounter other humans at all. So when you find a dead one, it's like that's a weird thing, and it doesn't say anything about it. No character talks about it. You just go up a broken set of stairs, and there's a monster hanging out near this dead human, and you can kind of I don't know what the devs intended with that, but I can imagine all sorts of stuff, and I love little bits like that.
Yeah,
and just little kind of things like that, which, you know, and I don't like having things spelled out for me. Yeah. Because I would rather just there be a big gap and then have everyone go, ooh, and then as a fan I can excitedly talk about what that could be or what that could mean possibly. And I'm like, no, we don't need like Terminator fucking 87 where, oh, but what did the T-800 do? Where did it get the roses from in the mall scene? It's like, well, I can extrapolate as someone who exists on the Earth that it would have probably bought them to conceal its fucking lever action gun.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, but like, where did it get the money from? Who fucking cares? Yeah, we do not need to explore that.
There's every chance,
and it's better if we don't.
It just murdered the florist.
Well, I think it's a good guy in that one.
Oh, okay. Well, then it didn't murder the florist.
Maybe so I sit there and go, okay, it took a biker's clothes. It probably had his jacket probably had like a wallet in it.
Yeah.
Or he stole cash. Or he stole them. Who's going to stop Arnold Schwarzenegger? I wouldn't. I'd be like, no, please, take me with you.
Yeah.
I don't know where you're going.
He could have got a job. He could have sold something.
Yeah, you know what? He worked at Baskin Robbins.
Yeah.
For an afternoon.
He was the guy that made you your like ice cream
gelato
slushy gelato thing.
Yeah, that's. But did you care? No.
No,
you didn't care.
You didn't even remember.
And we don't need 8 sequel movies to fucking explain that.
The environmental storytelling is such a big love, and even if it's not connected to the actual story of the game, like Borderlands does that in quite a nice way, where you can like go off the beaten track and find some weird things that you're just like, what is going on here? This is just interesting. And all the story is there. It's like its own little bubble. But you don't have to ask any more questions. It's like, oh, there's a body there. There's a psycho there. Like, clearly you can see what's happened here.
Yeah. It's like, I remember in The Long Dark, another favourite game of mine, it's like a survival first-person game set on basically a desolate island that's just icy and you need to stay warm and alive and avoid wildlife and stuff like that. You find there's little scenes, so there's a hydroelectric dam you can go to where you open up it's like a big door. It's like a big thick metal door with one of those circular kind of openers. I don't know what they're called. And you go through it, and it's like at the top of that where the door is, there's steps down and then to a little tiny platform, and it goes down again in a different direction. So you come in, and as soon as you because it kind of fades to black and then it fades in again because it's loading a different area, there is an arrow embedded in the door right next to your head, and you're like, oh, you can take it out and use it. And then you look down and you see someone who's leaning against the door, and I think they've got an arrow in them. And there's blood and bandages. And then you look at the bottom of the steps and there's a person lying dead there as well, who I think has a bow or something. And it's like, oh, I can see what happened. This guy's dropped a bunch of bandages after stealing from some, little things like that where you go, oh, and that makes it feel so much. And I don't need a sequel game where it's so Greg and Anthony had an argument about bandages and the hydroelectric dam.
And you play as Greg in this mode.
Yeah, it's like I know people really love Wicked and stuff like that, but I'm like, I don't fucking care. It's not needed, and it's just, Greg, it just annoys me that everything has to be related to something else. It can't just be new.
Yeah, new media is always good.
It's annoying. But yes, sequels. Shall I roll for the second topic of the podcast, Adam?
Oh my god, yes. Let's do it. Higher or lower than 126?
Lower. What did I say it like? No. One more.
43?
Incorrect. You suck. No, I'm joking. No, it's 91.
Oh, it wasn't that much lower. Okay.
No. Accents.
I'm just happy I managed to get it the first, on the second try, that other one.
You did really well. But yeah, accents.
We have accents. Having a conversation about accents in this very podcast about the Cockney accent.
I'm a fucking Cockney nutjob. That's how you talk. That's
me. That's me, Cockney nutjob.
Yeah, everyone's going to go, why did Adam talk twice? What? That's so crazy.
We also had a very good conversation about my colleagues earlier. who are Romanian and Moldova. Like, that's where they are. And they are the loveliest people. A lot of our conversations on Fridays revolve around, like, the differences between things that happen in our worlds, and just, like, me trying to understand stuff. And, like, I want to learn a bit of Romanian so I can actually have a chat with them. But their accents are amazing. They do like tie me up a few times where I can't quite get what they're saying.
Don't tell HR. Don't tell HR.
Yeah, and I love it because
with love.
It keeps me on my toes. Like, I don't quite get it sometimes, but, like, I've worked with them long enough now. It's only been like a week or two where now when they say HR, I get it. I get it quickly. I do love how many variety of accents there are in the world.
Oh, same. I mean, beautiful. I just, if I'm personally obsessed with, like, languages. I tend to hyperfixate on a language and try and learn as much as I can. I was tutored in German by a German when I was a teenager at my weird cult school that sucks and was terrible. It sounds fancy. It has been shut down because it was dangerous to children, and they kept, like, basically pairing them with kiddie fiddlers. So, you know, it's a shitty school, and it was based on basically a kind of Nazi sympathizers' ideas. But it was the last school in the district, so my parents sent me there for the aforementioned bullying. But yeah, long story short, and I loved that. I love languages so much. I wish I could speak all of them. I wish I had the time, ability, aptitude, and money to do so. Yeah. It's like learning Spanish, and I'm not... I know enough to know I don't know shit. You know? Yeah. I know a little bit, but I ain't no shit. So, yeah, I love... I love accents. I mean, that's why, you know, I'm kind of a voice actor. Mm-hmm. And, like, the funny thing is, I'm not allowed to have my own accent. Because all the roles I've done have asked me to be English.
No.
Yeah. And it's like, so I tend to just kind of like, because I voice Matilda in Hunter the Parenting, which is a fucking amazing series. I love it. And I do like little bits for, like, you know, my 40k YouTube friends and things like that as well. And
she's famous.
Yeah. No. I mean, I have been recognised in the Produce Island Sainsbury's before, not to brag.
Oh. What were you doing in Sainsbury's?
Jerking a horse off.
Oh. A driverless horse?
Yeah, he was a manager. I miss you, Alvaro. Hooves to the face. But like in like a sexy kind of, like, cute way. But no, I was with my mother-in-law, which was cool because she doesn't get what I do for a job. And then it was like some guy, like, he was such a sweet. He was like Snipe, and I was like, hello, and my mother-in-law kind of just froze, like, what? Because she knows obviously my online, like, names and stuff. Yeah. And I had a nice chat with this guy, and she was like, oh. Okay, and it made it. I was like, "Thank you so much, gentlemen in Sainsbury's, for making my occupation real to my mother-in-law. Thank you,
yes,
so much.
Respect
an angel from heaven. Yeah, I hope he's having a wonderful day wherever he is."
Was he a paid actor?
I am not at liberty to say, because then I'd have to pay him, and I haven't had a formal... No.
I was really obsessed for a long time. My diet was really strange. I really liked just eating pasta and pizza. I loved pasta and pizza because I loved Italian food. And because I suddenly became, like, absolutely loving with Italian food, I wanted to learn Italian.
Adam, that's how it gets. That's called pasta poisoning, and you've got it. No, I love it how you, like, somehow weebed about Italy That's amazing.
Big time.
You're like, buongiorno. Sorry, I just love the culture.
I genuinely, I was like, I love the food, and I was like, well, I'm going to go there one day, so I better learn the language. So I did an NVQ in Italian. I do not remember anything from it, but I just remember I did not enjoy it as much as I was hoping that I would.
Did you think that you would be fed lasagna while you were learning?
There was a dream.
I think if you feed people because if they offered empanadas while learning Spanish, I would be 800 stone and just be an empanada that could speak fluent Spanish.
Yeah, fluent. I would be fluent in about 3 hours.
Yeah, because of how much empanadas I would eat. I'd be like,
yeah.
That's how you eat empanadas.
I also, I do intend to do this one day. It's like, I'll probably pay for some classes. I do want to learn sign language because I feel like nice. It's just going to be so useful. Like,
it is.
I cannot imagine a situation, like, imagine I get older, so I'm hard of hearing a little bit already, but like not so much where I've actually got a problem. I need like a hearing aid or anything, but like it isn't great.
I am high frequency deaf, so I have to wear hearing aids, but I tend not to because as an autistic person, I get overwhelmed with sound, so I end up not wearing them as much as I should.
Your body's done you a favour there, then.
It has and it hasn't, because socially as an autistic person, I have difficulty kind of gauging, how to explain, like being appropriate. So I don't just walk up to someone and go, hi, how is your foreskin? Because that's fucking creepy and weird. But I can say or act in certain ways that might be a bit too much and not quite understanding how a person is reacting to me. So I don't know, say, like, if I can say something that could come across as flirting, I might not realise that. And I know literally everyone can do that to a greater or lesser extent. I get anxious about that.
Mm-hmm.
And I was talking to my gym buddy the other day, and I couldn't hear him properly. And this is a thing that I realised because, like playing a lot of gigs, we are in a musician band.
Ew.
Very loud environments. So when someone talks to me, because I can read lips, I like, you lean close and then I'm staring at their lips as they're talking to me.
Mm-hmm.
And I did not clock for the longest time that people think that's flirting. And I was like, no, mate, I'm just fucking deaf as shit.
All deaf people are just flirts.
It's like, and I was talking to my gym buddy and I was like staring at his lips. Yeah, I'm a slut. If you're deaf, you're a slut. Sorry, like complimentary. Live your best life, girl. I am a slut, but not because I'm hard of hearing.
Undress me with your eyes.
Why can I do that when I can just come in there and do it with a stick? I can chopstick your clothes off, Adam. Do you want that, you spicy little boy?
If you had the talent to do that, I think I would be willing to let you just to see if that's actually possible.
Because if I can like undress you with a pair of chopsticks, I've earned your body.
Yeah, we'll go with that.
What a horrible thing to say. Ugh.
Sold to the highest bidder.
Yeah, a fucking deaf or ADHD person with a pair of fucking chopsticks. Mate, aim higher. Jesus Christ. But yeah, do you know, because I think they should teach, as well as like a foreign language, like spoken language, I think everywhere should teach that the local or that country's sign language. Yeah. I think that should be mandatory, because I have had moments before I learned a little bit of sign language where I have encountered people who are hard of hearing or use sign language to communicate, and I have not been able to communicate with them. But no one has ever come up to me and been like, ¿Dónde está la playa? I'm like, fucking what?
Yeah.
I can say what in sign language.
Yeah.
But also I think it's really interesting. So, yeah, and like, there's, like, they have accents in sign language. They do. So some people will do like, thank you. It's like hand on the chin, kind of like moving away. Some people do it like maybe a bit more. This isn't like a real life example, but like little variants like that, where someone will teach them where instead of like a straight arm, they can move it a little bit.
That's
just
adorable.
Little things like that. So isn't it amazing how we have these like rules in which we kind of live our lives by that keep coming out in different like models almost, I guess.
Beautiful.
it's amazing. So yeah, some people have like, obviously there's a lot of different dialects and stuff because there'll be certain things in parts. England has the most accents per capita, I think, in the world.
I mean, yeah, I see that.
The accents are insane. Like, I mean, like if Scottish and like Scottish like Glaswegian compared to Scottish like Edinburgh, night and day
difference. Yeah.
Miles difference. I mean, like maybe someone who isn't like who doesn't know many Scottish people probably wouldn't be able, like maybe an American would be able to tell, or like, you know, like I don't get mad at people. Well, I do comedically because it's for the bit, but people who think I'm Kiwi, like, because it's like, okay, no, we're kind of similar. We're very different to me because obviously I know how I talk. But yeah, like little things like that, and it's like. I love how diverse it is, and just all this. Like I heard, I watched an Instagram video of there's a Geordie guy screaming in his bedroom at like 2 a.m. because a bat had gotten into his room, and he said in the most kind of like thick Newcastle accent, "There's a fucking bat in here. Hey man, how do you get the bat out?" And I was like, "This is magic.
Peak comedy.
This is beautiful." It was so it made it so much better. It's like Juno Birch. She's a drag queen from like she's like Liverpudlian. I think she's actually from the same village as Lily Savage. So that village is just whatever they're putting in the water. Put more of it in there. Yeah. It's awesome. We need more of it.
Yeah.
And she's, you know, and she's like her accent with her humor is the most fucking incredible shit ever, and I love it.
It just makes so it. Accents, I think, they're really good, like key characteristics of people. Where you can remember people based off it as well. On the back of talking about sign language, there is also like massive benefits for learning language for children and young people. My niece...
You mean an additional language?
Yeah, no, English is a standard.
Okay. So I mean, we kind of need to learn that. So
yeah. My niece Willow, she is beautiful, amazing, awesome.
She is the cutest little thing.
Oh my gosh, she's perfect. As a quick side note, she just got her summer report card back from her preschool, and she is literally smashing it. She's such a legend.
She is like younger, vandalism at that. I'm proud. That's what I'm teaching her. I gave her that bat. Don't tell the cops that. She wouldn't snitch. I've taught her not to, but you know.
When she was younger, she went to this thing called Sing and Sign, which is exactly what it sounds like. You sing, you sign at the same time, and you do hand movements. So you do nappy change, clean. Thank you, like stuff like that. Small little sign things.
I'm just like, clean seems to be the same as H. So it's like you put your left hand up, face up, and then you put your hand flat on the palm and then kind of brush it down.
Yeah.
That's like H.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
And what has been scientifically proven is that kids that do sing and sign start to pick up language quicker because they understand this is thank you, and then you hear the words thank you and associate it with it. So they start doing this. So Willow was signing before she could speak. She was saying thank you. She was saying. I can imagine
hand gestures are easier to master than than phonemes, which phonemes are the shape of your mouth when you pronounce a certain letter or sound. So I can imagine, if it's just hand on chin, move away, that's easier than thank you. That's easier.
And so, to understand, like, appreciation is this. Like, just to understand, like, and we would do it. So if I passed my sister Zoe something in front of Willow, she would go thank you, and I would go like back to sign that was what was happening. And like, it's really, really good for kids. Like, they pick up on sign language, and you can learn from that.
I would love it if, like, you know, kids are just taught sign language along with English, or like whatever their native language is, just teach them that as well, because there is probably realistically a lot more utility to do that. I mean, I don't think we should remove foreign language learning at all. I think that's a really important thing anyway, but like sign language, especially because it is communicating in such a different way, I think it will just, like, I mean, like you said, it's beneficial for singing sign. But I need to, it should be free to learn. Not that the people who teach it should not be paid. I just think that, knowledge should not be penalised with a pay.
I bet you could find like a YouTube series that would support.
I used to follow I follow a lady. Oh, she used to do it where she was deaf. Jessica Kellegren Fozzard. I can't remember. She's a disabled. I know she's a disabled lesbian who would teach kind of like sign language, like just words and stuff like that. And I'm like, that's awesome. But also she's got a child now with a wife, and it's like, and she's also, she's disabled. I think she has chronic pain. I'm like, she can't, that's not something she's able to do like as a curriculum, and it's unfair to assume that she should.
Yeah.
But yeah, it would be amazing if you could just have yeah, that would be great. I'd love that.
It would increase accessibility because, I remember a time when I knew about thank you, the sign for thank you, and I did it to someone like almost on instinct because I was used to doing it to Willow, and it was I was actually like working. I think it was at like B&Q or something like that, and I could see that someone was like. And like actually was shocked and was like, "Oh my god, you actually like said thank you and signed like thank you," like, and they were hard of hearing and they genuinely really appreciated me just doing it, and I was like, did I, like, that was on accident, but like yes of course.
Yeah. And like think about it, like even if we just go for a purely selfish kind of thing, imagine you're at a bar and it's noisy, you ask your mates what you want to drink, boom, there you go, easy. It's just, it makes sense to me, and I don't know. It's like, I think there's so many little things, obviously, that I won't understand not being in, like, the educational sector and all this kind of shit, but I think this is something that should just be done, because, again, as a hard of hearing person, also, I don't, it feels awkward when I'm talking to someone and I can't quite hear, like, in a gym environment, so I don't wear my hearing aids in the gym, and there is a lot of background noise, which obviously makes it very difficult to hear. So if I'm talking to my mate or someone else and I have to take out my earphones, I'm staring at their lips like they owe me fucking money and probably making them uncomfortable. And it would be nice to not just go, I'm just trying to read your lips, I'm not being creepy. Because if I have to say that, it makes me look fucking creepy. It just makes it look like I'm trying to get ahead of it before they accuse me of being creepy.
Do you think that... Which I wonder if... I'm just thinking out loud. I wonder if people with, like, people who are more introverted would find it easier to talk to people in sign language than with, like, English, with words. I wonder if that's a thing.
I remember hearing, like, psychologically, and this is anecdotally, so take it with a pinch of salt, but I remember seeing, like, a bunch of people... I've seen it over the years, a few people basically mirroring, well, like just echoing this thing I've seen where I saw a lady talking about how her husband never says I love you to her or like anyone else. And I'm like, oh, that's a bit of a red flag, because obviously, you think about what would make you do that if you are a person who says it, because I say it a lot to my husband, that's something I say quite often, but I also am very introverted and I'm very kind of like aware of touch, and if I'm friendly with you, I'll probably touch you a lot when I'm just casually talking. It's not like a creepy thing. It's not meant that way. But also with a stranger, I will just stand basically like a pencil and just not fucking move.
Yeah.
And so I understand like different people do different things. And she was like, I really wish she could say that, And then she said that she did something where it was like a tap on like his arm. It was like a or something like that with like two fingers, like do, which meant I love you on his arm. Yeah. And suddenly he was doing it like 30 times a day.
Yeah.
And it's like, so I think there is at least like neurologically speaking, there is a disconnect between spoken word and physical actions.
Yeah.
So, I mean, usually you can see like, a lot of the time it's like, don't watch the mouth, watch the hands, kind of thing. If you want to kind of, if you don't mind me bastardizing that. Yeah, body language can speak louder than words. And I think that for some people, maybe some people who I guess especially have like social difficulties might find it a bit easier to communicate in sign language. And I think, again, like there's probably so many studies being done right now about this kind of stuff that I want to go and have a look at.
Yeah, I'm immediately curious. I think it kind of relates back to me for... so I do a lot of work with a guy who is... autistic is like the edge of his diagnosis. He needs a lot of support and a lot of structure around him. But one of the big ways in which all of the people that are in his life supporting him have worked to support him better is in communication. And we've all noticed that the better that we've gotten at communicating with him and having that communication, the better his life has got, the better his quality of life has been. And it was just about finding his way of communicating. And I'm kind of relating this back into the idea of having a conversation with someone in sign language because they find it easier, and people having different strengths. That being very interesting, and now I want to go and research it. And
Yeah. Accents are fun.
Yeah,
is the base, is what we're talking about, and I do think it's the sweetest thing ever because like they literally say that like sheep have different accents,
of course,
and like dogs have different accents.
I'm gonna melt. I'm not going to be able to drive home because I'm going to be crying.
I know, it's so cute. That's okay. I'll scoop you into a little puddle and I'll drive you home. It's fine. I'll figure it out, right? You know, you press the button to go. Yeah, whatever. Yeah, and that activates turbo speed, and I'll go. Okay. Well, that wraps that up. We will be back in 2 weeks. We are still working out the kinks.
Kinky.
Ooh.
Oh.
Dong. Stop coming live on fucking the podcast. It's weird. Okay. 4.5 comes.
4 3/4.
4 3/4. I don't want to know. I don't explain. I don't want to know. But yeah, thank you very much for joining us. We will be back in 2 weeks. And don't forget to stay hydrated. We care about you. And learn sign language, or horses will find where you live.
Deputy horses.
Yeah, so they're like, ACAB includes deputy horses, and they will come and trample you, because that's just what the state lets them do.
Bye!
Bye!